Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Give me a shout if you can hear this loud and clearly. Okay, just to test that everything's working, we're going to start again with a weather update. Bear with me. So, welcome back. You're looking at the tracker again with me, Bram Houtenbos, aka the Lazy Racer. So, we are talking the evening of Sunday, the 18th of May. We are looking at the map right in front of us. We have the map in a live setting, and we can see that actually not that much has changed since we last checked in. The main thing that stands out to me is the fact that we have seen the folks on Mallorca cover the distance of the island, and they are probably looking to catch the next ferry out to Valencia. And if they do, it does rather look to me like they may be in the lead, because the Andorra crew, well, they're not on the map, but let's have a look. Let's see if we can make them appear with the technology that we have. We are not seeing them on the map. Bear with me. I definitely saw some people go into Andorra, but where are they? I'm thinking Fernando. I'm thinking Chalky's Butcher. I'm thinking maybe Matthew, if I'm not mistaken. I think they all went into Andorra. But here's the thing about Andorra. Andorra is not in the EU, and as a result, roaming is curtailed. And so perhaps they have, well, I'm not sure how the trackers actually submit their position, but if it does use mobile phone signals, the roaming might be disabled. But on the other hand, you would hope that they would work in Morocco. So maybe that isn't a good enough reason why why it would have dropped off there. Let's have a look on the other side. So this is the Camino side of things, and again, it does look like everyone has made it in and out of Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, but I am not seeing much activity covering the ground northern Spain all the way to Santiago. It could be that there were some delays there, or it could be that that they are taking it at an easier pace. That is also possible, of course. In the meantime, what has happened with Nige and June? I think they're just staying put. Possibly that is why we're not seeing them. If we look at the full path, can we make them out here? Let's have a look. And there's not that much activity recently. Okay, so what has been the activity that we've seen recently? Let's see if we can pick up the dots. So the Moriarty crew have indeed made it to Bratislava. You would have thought that they're going to try and launch an assault, so to speak, on Hungary and possibly Croatia, Slovenia, and maybe then go into Italy, or maybe even further down, although that starts to eat up a bit more time going to Bosnia, to Serbia. That is a bigger commitment, but on the other hand, you don't want to come back towards France and Spain too quickly, because then you might run out of countries and points that you can claim for the points classifications. Speaking of which, I have something exciting to show you. This is a new thing that we've been working on here at Lazy Racer HQ. Let me see if I can find this for you. what we have here is a split flap display showing the standings for the points classification as we have it right now. And the fun thing here is that this will update automatically. So if you are watching this on YouTube, I will actually leave the stream open tonight, and the points classification is going to automatically update. The tracker is going to update, and everyone can continue to watch this live with or without my coverage for as long as the stream stays open. I'm just going to have a quick look to see if we have anyone on the chat who might like to join me. I would love to talk to someone doing the race at the moment rather than just talking to the ether. Perhaps Emma Dog, is that you? I would love for you to join. If we have anyone else who is in a position to speak, I know a lot of you are on buses, etc., where you can listen in, but it's not so easy to join what is going on. Let's see if there's anyone in the chat who might be available, or someone on WhatsApp. There is a WhatsApp group for the racers that James has been kind enough to add me to. That is not the case. There's no one ready just yet, so that's a bit of a shame. In the meantime, let me fill you on the multimodal award. So the multimodal award goes to the person who's used the greatest variety of transport methods, and in so doing, we're looking for buses, trains, various forms of trains, light rail, but also personal modes of transport, so skateboards, bikes, e-bikes. I know I saw some of those at the start. So it should be fairly easy to rack up a good number, but can anyone push it towards the magic number of 25? That's the general direction that would put people into almost a guaranteed winning spot. At the moment, the leader has 5 points. And let me see if I can make that appear behind me. With a bit of luck. There we go. Look at that go. And you can hear it's got the real noise. So that is giving us an update. The race leader for Multimodal Award is Kate on 5. And let me talk you through the ones that she has. She has collected an intercity rail, metro or underground service, regional or suburban lines, high-speed rail, and a minibus. And we'll have to see what category that goes in. At the moment, it's a miscellaneous, but you could argue that that is falls in the Marschrutka category. And at this point, I'd like to throw it open for some questions. So, do we have any questions? We have Nina saying that she is up to 9 countries, and if that is put through the leaderboard, then we will be able to see that reflected on the display behind me, and that will happen quite soon after. It's not instant, but every 10 minutes or so it'll update. Just going to cut to the weather, and then I'm going to see if I can bring in some people. I will send you some links to come and join me here if you'd like to. Bear with me one moment. I'm going to distribute some links to guests who might want to join me. And we will go over to the weather just for one moment. Do we still have audio? I think we do. We have 2 cameras. Boy, that's spooky. Okay. Let's see. I will distribute some links. If you want to, you can dial in there. but take your time. There is no rush here. I'm going to try and not let myself be rushed. I'll do another tour of the map in a second. Emma Dog, do you have a way of getting in touch with me? I think I might have your contact details. Bear with me. For anyone who hasn't yet registered for the Multimoto Award, by the way, there is a link to the form that I distributed in the WhatsApp group, or you can send me a quick DM and I can get your details added. As I mentioned, the person in the lead only has 5 modes of transport, so it's very gettable. This thing is not over and done with by any means. Hello, Emma Dog. I need to send you a link. So if you could get in touch with me either here on this platform with a quick DM or through some other means, then I can get hold of you and send you a link to dial into the stream. We do have someone else I recognize, so I'm going to send Crispy a link. One moment, we're just going to set ourselves up and allow some guests to join. I, of course, don't necessarily know if they'll be able to, but let's see. Oh, Sarah can't get it to work. That's a shame. One second. Okay. Right, I think we will have our first guest joining shortly. And this will be exciting because otherwise I'm just talking into the ether and no one wants to see that. And I don't think we'll need 3 of me, so let's kill one of these off. There we go. And perhaps we can get another update on the points total. By the way, if anyone wants to update their multimodal award standings, be sure to sync your entries. So your entries, because the app also works offline, you need to sync the entries for it to come back to Lazy Race HQ, and I can then see your results. In the meantime, let's see if we have anyone joining. Not just yet. So I'm going to go back to the map if that's okay. Bear with me. Okay, so here we have the map again. We can have another look at the country counters. Because I heard that some folks were in Liechtenstein. Let's see if we can see who that was. So we have Wes, who appears to have gone through Vaduz and explored all of Liechtenstein. And I think someone else, it might have been Nina, was in Liechtenstein for a good couple of hours, really soaking up all there is to see and do in Liechtenstein, which I find very impressive. There can't, logically, you would have thought, be all that much happening in Liechtenstein, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's got a very lively scene. Let's see if that link is forthcoming, if we have a guest joining. And maybe now we can have some questions from the audience, even if they can't join us live. I'd be happy to talk through strategy. One question. Okay, great. That's popped up is, why did I call myself the moniker Lazy Racer? Well, on the one hand, I like to go fast, and on the other hand, I like things to be comfortable. So my interrail passes are typically first class, and if I can help it, I will try and find myself a reservation for a couchette or a sleeper train if I can help it. But that is always somewhat speculative because you need to do that ahead of time. But I have been lucky in my previous two times that I joined the race, because I was able to actually connect up with the sleeper train, not from the point where I intended to, but from halfway down the course that train was running down. So that was, I got some really weird looks from the attendant when I got on in Salzburg and I was supposed to start in Zurich. I have an excellent question from Helen, who is asking, which route is proving fastest so far? I didn't want to opine too much on this earlier on in the race, because um, there's a risk I might be interfering, and everyone kind of needs to do their own research and find a route that works for them. And it turns out the route that I would have chosen isn't panning out that great, which is the one through Andorra, and it looks like, if I were a betting man, I would now think that the team from Valencia the team from coming from the island hopper route may well make it to Valencia before the people who are coming from Andorra. I think there were some delays there that impacted their success. I think the northern Spanish route, even with the potential to cross more directly into Spain, which there is, I'm just not seeing anyone using it. It is a very slow route. I think it's obviously a road well traveled for pilgrims, but it's not necessarily on a major corridor for public transport. So hopefully that answers that question. Nina, I think I'll send you a link as well, and then we can see if we can patch you in. Grant, if you are around, give me a shout if you're having any issues with the broadcast. I might be doing something wrong on my side. I have not yet had a guest on the line. I might also do it another way. 1 second. In the meantime, please keep the questions coming. Oh, I hear the thing clapping behind me. That probably means that we have an update on the points. At least it's giving us an updated current situation. Did Nina go to 9? Yes, you can see it updated behind me. I'm not sure if you can see that, but we have Nina now on 9, and that was on 8 before. Don't worry, I will set you up as speakers and we'll try and handle it that way. Let's see. Please keep the questions coming and we'll see how we can address those in a minute. Bear with us. We're just finding our feet over here. In the meantime, I'm going to put up a slideshow, and the slideshow shows some images either of the current race or when I covered this route in reverse, so starting from Marrakech earlier this year. So I'm going to put that up for you to enjoy it, and I'll be right back with you. Hello, hello. I'm back. I'm still finding, trying to find a way um, to find a way to add the guests in. In the meantime, there has been another question. So the question was, for the Multimodal Award, what distinction are we making between trains? So the categories are intercity trains. We've got regional or suburban rail. Um, those things are hopefully pretty clear. And then high-speed rail is anything that's capable of 200 kilometers an hour. So proper high speed, not necessarily what some politicians will tell you is high speed rail. Okay, I think we have a guest. Let's see if we can get this working. This is very exciting because the guest is on a train. Bear with me one moment. I'm just going to set that up. Hello, Grant. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. How are you?
Excellent. Well, this is fantastic. Welcome. You're my first. You're my first guest on the. Are we calling it a program? Is that what's happening? Hello. Sorry, I've
I don't know
forgotten
what
your
that
name.
is.
Was it Helen?
No, it's Holly.
Holly. So sorry.
Yeah.
How's your journey going so far? I'm so great to have someone to talk to. I'm just talking into the ether. This is fantastic.
I know. This is exciting. It's someone to talk to other than my own family.
Well, I mean, Holly can join in. I'm not sure if that will cause an echo, but she's very welcome to.
No, we don't want to disturb everyone
That's fair
else here.
enough.
But yeah, so yeah, we're on a train.
And when we last spoke, you didn't want to give too much away. I think you've now
Yeah.
had a couple of hours of traveling. Do we want to start maybe with a bit more of an introduction? Because not everyone will know who you are. I did put your profile out already, so people can see that. But you're one of the moderators of the Flyer Talk Forum, which is a place where frequent travelers, road warriors such as yourself, but also leisure travelers, exchange tips, etc. All for their travels. It's a place that people can go for hotel recommendations, read trip reports, etc. And a whole bunch of you have decided to enter. Have I got that right?
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much have it in. Flyer Talk I think dates back to the maybe mid 1990s, earlier days of the internet. Randy Peterson is kind of the forefather, and it was really a repository for like-minded people who love to travel, who share tips and tricks on, not how to cheat a system, but how to make the most of the frequent flyer game. And so, I got into kind of the travel bug in the mid to late 1990s as a way of elevating my airline status. We would do mileage runs and fly, you know, fly to do stupid flights to, get upgrades on other flights sometime later. So that's what got me into it. And since that time, the industry's evolved. So went from doing that for status to the credit card shell game in the United States is popular, where you sign up for a credit card and you hit some minimum spend and get an absurd amount of miles. And did that. That game is, yeah, still going in the United States, but not as strongly as it was. But I understand for Europeans and Brits, it doesn't really exist because you guys don't have the bank interchange fees that help support that. So, um, yeah, so I found out about this race on Flyer Talk and was really intrigued by it. And here I am. It's a really cool thing, cool event. Oh, Well, the initial response is like, "Oh, it's really cool. It's an adventure, and wow, you're kind of daring and brave to be stepping off our continent." But then, I think the reality is when people actually start hearing what it takes to be competitive in this, then suddenly they realize this isn't the glamorous European vacation they're hoping for, but in fact, yeah, maybe not what someone else is hoping for, but yeah, exactly. And if 30 minutes in a train station doesn't tell you everything you need to know about a city or a country, I don't know what does. Yeah, sure. So we start out in Paris with everybody else, and when we got the booklet that gave us the three courses, um, I couldn't really decide between the mountains and the island hopper. And so we actually went to both of the locations in Paris, so the meter mark as well as the man in the wall. Um, yeah, definitely hedging the bets because I didn't really have a good idea of what the implications were of either route based at the time that we were on the Eurostar. So what I learned though is that I had intended to go to Luxembourg and up to Belgium um, yesterday, and that extra hour that it took to hit all three sites uh, basically caused us to have to spend the night in Luxembourg. We didn't have any onward travel that was possible. Yeah, so that basically 2 hour delay cascaded about a 6 hour delay from where I was hoping we would be, but yeah, it'll all work out. I mean, you never know. It's travel. Yeah, so I actually conversed in stayed at a no name hotel not too far from the train station, and traded some chase points, made a reservation through that, and end up with a free room for the night. I wouldn't recommend this hotel to anyone. Oh gosh. I'll say it served a purpose. It's utilitarian, but if I was going on a vacation in Luxembourg, I certainly would have higher standards and higher desires. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, there's a Indian restaurant or Italian restaurant across the street from our hotel that seemed to be popular through midnight, 1 a.m. So they were out there making plenty of noise. So must be good.
New Reisende for calling, new passengers from calling.
Yeah, so we're actually on a train right now going to Copenhagen, and we're going to be brutal to ourselves, and we get into Copenhagen at midnight, and we'll be taking the train back and forth to Malmo, and then tomorrow very early catch a train back down to Germany. Um, yep. Yeah, actually, I did. I I think there's a 7 a.m. ferry or something like that from Hamburg. But the trains didn't seem to work out that well. So it's sort of, this is one of those that seemed like a little bit of a time suck, but it also seemed. I started thinking about how would I trade out, let's say, the 8 hours or 10 hours this is sort of taking. Um, I was thinking about where else would that time go, and I couldn't identify really great sites. I would suddenly go, oh man, this is a must do. I would definitely clear 3 countries if I had 10 hours somewhere else. We'll never know. Well, we'll know in a week. Yeah, it's been rough. We had a cheesy pretzel in Germany today. Yeah. Some macarons in France, a little bit of chocolate in Belgium, but nothing. Think train station and what's right there. So nothing that I would write home about and say, man, this is great. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think one of the things that for me is a pleasant surprise is in the train stations in oh Maastricht, maybe. There was a store that had a bunch of fresh food, and we actually got this great caprese salad. Um, that's sort of pre-mixed and stuff, and that's something that we would never get in the States. There you go. I have no idea. It was just in the station. Oh, I can totally hear you.
Okay. I figured it out. Can Arash and Nina, etc. Can you tell me if you can hear me now in the chat? Sorry about that. I've been neglecting the chat, and this thing that is supposed to tell us about the comments doesn't actually do that. Okay, I think people can hear me again, so that is something. Can a train be counted for 2 categories? Can it be high speed and intercity? No. So that's a very good question, but for the purposes of the intermodal award, it is not possible to combine a mode of transport for 2 categories. So you, for example, have in the bus category, you can get points for an articulated bus, so a bendy bus with the accordion section in the middle.
A little update on our journey towards Odense-Ringsted Comings.
An articulated bus that is in its own lane, so is also a BRT. You can only count that in one category, but the benefit is that you can decide how you want to count that. But each vehicle can only be counted in one category, and you can only score 1 point in each category as well. Grant, I think you
Hey,
put
Bob,
yourself
how do
on
you?
mute,
connection to
given
Lupine Airport
Yeah,
by
the background noise.
quick question.
currently it's so
Yeah,
low
quick
at
question for you.
10:30.
How do you
We
submit
will
your
not connect to
categories?
that train as it looks right now.
Yeah, so in order to do the collection of the details for the multimodal award, we need to run that through an app. This is an unofficial award, so I don't have access to your email addresses. In order to lock it down safely, I need your email address so that you can validate with that email address to log into the app, so we keep your details safe. So the best way to sign up for the multimodal award is by completing the form that I sent out at the start of the race, or get in touch with me. I'll send you a DM with the link, and then I will set you up in the app. It's very straightforward. I even have an instruction video showing you how to log your modes of transport, and preferably also you can log your evidence, so you getting on the vehicle, a picture of the vehicle from the outside, so we can see what it looks like. And also you can tag your location in it. And the fantastic thing about this app is it even works when you're offline. So you can do it in the moment. You can save your data down. If you don't have free data or you don't have Wi-Fi, you can still collect the evidence and then sync it up later. But do make sure that you sync before everything is said and done, because otherwise we will not be able to see your entries, and that will go amiss, and your evidence that you've collected won't be shared. But at the moment, I can already see the pictures having been collected, and we'll also get something of a map showing where all of these modes of transport have been taken. One thing that I would really recommend is go out there and find the really weird modes of transport. There are some on the list that are where there are only one or two examples anywhere in Europe. So go and find the Schwebebahn in Wuppertal. Go and enjoy a cog railway in Budapest. Really make the most of everything that Europe has to offer, because I think in Morocco the options might be a little bit more limited in that capacity.
Do camels count?
Do camels count? We've had that question. I don't think you can count a camel as either personal transport or as public transport. Definitely doesn't stick to a fixed route, isn't available for the general public. You can't carry it. So I'm going to say no, but this is a James decision, right? So if you want to count it, stick it in the miscellaneous decision, explain to James that you have a good argument that a camel is permissible, and we'll see. But yeah, good question.
No more questions in the chat.
I would love to have some more questions in the chat. We have some people joining, but I don't know how long they're staying on, and maybe they dropped off when they could only hear you speak and didn't get the context of my questions. Not that you're not entertaining in your own right, but please keep the questions coming in the chat, and otherwise we'll have to keep going. Grant, can you tell us a little bit about your trip reports on flyertalk.com and how people have responded to it, and maybe to what extent there's a competitive streak with the other people taking part? Do you know each other? How does it work?
Yeah, none of us knew each other before the trip. But what I think is cool about this event is since there are three main categories that you can win through, um, not only can other people be on this and win in their own way, but then also within the categories, there are different ways to win, right? You could head north, you could head south if you want those countries like we're heading for. Um, yeah, as far as Flyer Talk goes, there's a tradition of trip reports uh, and within them, people usually get pretty detailed, a lot of photos and stuff like that. This competition is actually listed in the Community Buzz Forum, which is a little bit unusual for kind of a trip report, except we're running it more as a diary. So myself and Lucy's contributed a fair amount too, and really trying to lay breadcrumbs for people in the future who might be interested to know what's involved and kind of some of the challenges that we're facing along the way, because otherwise it's a little bit of a black box. So, I think it's gotten a bit of a loyal following. sort of like this podcast. It starts small and it's growing. So it's kind of exciting. Now you are muted to me.
I did pop myself on mute. Can you hear me again?
Yep, we're good.
Yeah, so one of the things that I decided that I needed to work on is my public speaking, getting a bit more comfortable talking to strangers and presenting. So this is one of the ways that I get to do it. But I have found that if you're talking about something you're really passionate about, it's a lot easier.
Oh, for sure. It's absolutely true. So I should probably take off. It's 10 o'clock at night here, and don't want to disturb people more than I already have. But it's been great catching up with you.
Likewise. Well, I'm sure we'll have another chance to catch up and see how you're doing, and hopefully we'll have a bit of a blueprint here for other guests to join us. So if you want to sign off here, I'll talk people through the map one more time, but it doesn't look like there have been that many developments, or the tracker isn't saying everything. And there are some people making very, very good progress under the cover of darkness. You never know.
Dark hides a lot of things. So anyway, hey, take care, and thanks for doing this.
Thanks very much. Glad to have you.
Yep.
Take care. Thanks. Right, I'm going to do one more round of questions. If there are any on the gram, let me know what you want to know about the Lupine 2025 race. I can maybe talk a little bit more about the route and what has happened so far. Yeah, let's do that. Bear with me one moment. I'm just going to switch over to the tracker. Do I have the tracker? I do have the tracker here. I also have the points dashboard right there, but this is what we're really here for. The tracker, right? Okay, so the thing that I found really cunning about the way that the race is laid out this year is that actually an early start doesn't really count for that much. I think it was probably almost by design that there is bunching up of the field in various locations. So you can see that very clearly here in this pocket where we have, where we have folks barely going into Spain now. Even now, that is not a great deal of progress. So maybe I haven't actually looked at the timings for this crossing to be made. But overnight, we saw people spend the night in Toulon. Some folks going all the way through to Barcelona, but in both events, they were held up trying to catch the same ferry. Same for Chamonix. There was really no way to get into Chamonix and back out again straight away. So people either had to overnight in Chamonix or make their way back out somewhere and then still have to wait until the next morning to continue their journey. Let's have a very swift look at the country counter. Let's see if we can animate that. So Team Moriarty in Slovakia, nothing much being updated there. And lowest cost, folks, obviously I have no data points on you, but if you want to give me an overview of how much you have spent so far and how far you've traveled, then I might be able to turn that into a cost per kilometer and give people something of a running idea of how that is going. Just want to give one more reminder to please sign up for the multimodal award, and the trophy is beautiful. It is gold. There are stars on it. If I talk any more lavishly about it, Donald Trump is going to enter for it. The multimodal award also comes with a £100 donation to a charity of your choice. Please let that not be Donald Trump's election fund. And that is about it for me for today. I'm going to sign off. I will see you in the morning before my workday starts, and I'll give you a quick rundown of what's happened overnight. I expect, maybe I can talk about that for a bit. My expectations are that the folks from Mallorca will have made their way to Valencia. They'll probably arrive there around 10:30 or something, and then I think the next option from Andorra won't be that far behind. I really do wonder where these folks have dropped off, because I know that there's a whole bunch of people in Andorra. Where did they go? Maybe I can do a targeted search. Bear with me 1 second. David C. Andrew. Fernando. Let's see if we can make them appear out of thin air. Nope, they went into Andorra, and then what happened? They were never heard of again. Yep, they went into thin air in Andorra, so maybe they've disappeared into one of the gun shops or the other tax-free shopping available, and they're having a great time. We will know more when we know more. Thank you. I'm just going to have one more look at the questions. No questions coming through, so I'm going to sign off here and wish you all a very good evening. I hope you had a good time. And if anything else comes up that you want to know more about for this race, let me know, and I will see what I can do. Thank you very much, and goodbye.